Hello and welcome back to GM Details. In this video, not only are you going to see a 3 months update on the Garage Therapy 1 year ceramic coating, but also a rare chance to see how Garage Therapy's products work on a ceramic coated car, and I'll be using some brand new versions of their chemicals too, so stay tuned. You've seen wheels being cleaned on this channel on pretty much every video, so on this one I'm skipping it to get to the good stuff. Garage Therapy 1 Snowfoam version 2, which has improved wetting ability, a denser foam and more stable at higher dilutions. It's also stronger, so it should clean better too. That's the website descriptions. There's a lot of talk at the moment over using foams as a pre-wash spray instead of a foam. The trouble with that idea is it's using it outside of its design purpose. Dilutions are calculated depending on dirt levels, and to a degree, different foam lances and pressure washers will also have an impact on how strong it's applied. But be careful about applying a chemical designed to be used in a lance versus using it in a sprayer, as 10:1 dilution in a lance will come out weaker than a 10:1 in a spray bottle because there's no extra water diluting it. So you could find delicate plastics or metal trims could suffer some damage due to chemical strength. Not that you have to worry about this Snowfoam, as it's non-caustic with sugar-based surfactants and even has built-in rust inhibitors. I'd be interested to hear if you've tried it and how you got on in the comments. So I'm using 75ml of Snowfoam to 425ml of water today, which is designed for medium cleaning through the new MTM foam lance, which is exactly the same PF22 lance, just with a wider neck for filling. I'll be comparing this one alongside its stablemate and a cheap alternative in a video soon, so if you want to get a notification when that's uploaded, please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss it. Well, I have to say that after a 5-minute dwell, it actually clung on quite well for a ceramic coated car. If you want a longer dwelling Snowfoam for a ceramic coating, take a look at the Detail Kitchen Palette Cleanser Snowfoam. It's designed for up to 20 minutes dwell time, but that's obviously weather dependent. But with the Garage Therapy Snowfoam tailing off, it's time to get the hose gun and rinse off from the sunny side first. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll be aware that I had a small pre-release development input into the Garage Therapy version 1 Snowfoam alongside my good friend Mark from Sparkling Autos. Version 1 was, and still is to me, a brilliant product, but there was a flaw with it in that it didn't get on well with an MJJC lance. Reason being that an MJJC lance has 2 metal gauzes and a foam insert to help produce thicker foam. This and the rather unhelpful demonstration by one of the UK's biggest YouTube influence meant that the boys from Garage Therapy had to go back to the drawing board with it, and version 2 was born. Stronger, yet capable of working with the MJJC Mr. Whippy lances at the stronger end of the dilution scales. It's also itself soon to be upscaled again for its release into the American market in 2025. You heard it here first, America. You'll be able to try this fantastic range of products out for yourselves. Let's get back on track here. This is about how version 2 Snowfoam has performed with the Skoda having had that 1 year Garage Therapy coating on it, and with this being pretty much exactly 3 months since the coating was applied, we should really have a little update on its progress too. Okay, the car wasn't in terrible condition to begin with, and that's definitely something you can expect from a car with a good coating on it. There's no such thing as self-cleaning as some promotional guff from some brands will tell you, but a coating will certainly make cleaning your car a whole lot easier. I think we can all agree that the Snowfoam has cleaned off the surface layer of the summer dirt very well, so let's concentrate on a few observations on the coating. I'm very impressed by the effect it's had on the black plastics. They seem to hold no water whatsoever, so that helps with drying, and of course a coating will protect the trim from UV damage, which is useful as this car is parked outside all of the time. As I rinse off the bonnet, I've noticed this vertical area, about the width of the applicator, that seems to be holding water. Maybe I didn't level the coating correctly or buffed it off too early and removed it from that area. I've checked back the footage from the application and I'm sure I did cover that area, but with the camera angle there's every possibility that I've missed a bit, as they say. Later on I'm going to be using V3 Sigma Hybrid SiO2 protection, which is designed to prolong ceramic coatings, but for now let's just appreciate the hydrophobic sheeting and water beads. So 3 months into the coating and the top half of the car looks incredibly hydrophobic. The back door of the driver's side looks good too, all the way down to the sill. And moving on to the driver's door, probably the highest wear abrasion area, and that's looking a bit clogged. It's still sheeting, but very slowly compared to the rest of the car. So we'll take a look at the passenger side and see if there's a similar story there. You can make out the shadow of where the water flows out from the wheel arches and travels along the body of the car, but remove the spray and it clears quickly enough. Remember, this is only after a Snowfoam wash, so I'll give the car a contact wash with the new V3 shampoo and see where we are from there. So version 3 wasn't a hyped up relaunch, rather a gentle sneaky upgrade from version 2. One Car Shampoo is fantastic value for money, as you only need to use around 10 to 20 millilitres in a 20 litre bucket to get great results, as it's so highly concentrated. Version 3 hasn't dramatically changed over version 2, I think it's more of a change in surfactants and a bit more lubricity for a safer wash experience. This is my first time using it, and I have to say, over the version 1 or 2 I didn't notice the extra lubricity, but I do notice that it seems to have less suds than I'm used to seeing from the previous versions, but I'm not going to dismiss it on one single use. I'll keep on using it for a better understanding of it and see how I get on with it. Have you used version 3 yet? Let me know in the comments which version that you prefer. So after the contact wash with One Car Shampoo version 3, we've seen the coating is still strong on the bonnet, the roof, the C-pillars, near side upper doors and the boot area. Pretty much same on both sides. But this lower area on the passenger and the driver's door where the highest wear abrasion takes place is a bit of a worry, and I'm going to try a few other garage therapy products designed to unclog a ceramic coating to see if it's possibly clogged or whether it's indeed already beginning to fail. So the first product I'm going to use is Garage Therapy's Zero DMS, the Zero being part of the decontamination range and DMS meaning demineralising shampoo. It's their new shampoo designed to bridge the gap for all water hardness areas to give a consistent wash performance from a shampoo, as well as tackling mineral contamination build-up that clogs paint surfaces and diminishes ceramic coating performance. DMS is similar to other garage therapy shampoos in that it's a dilutable liquid and value for money, but its job is quite different to Zero Decon in its pH balance. DMS being an acidic shampoo to tackle mineral deposits from rain, for example. Remember, you don't need to be in a hard water area to suffer from mineral deposits. Rainwater can travel vast distances in the clouds before it's released, and having a ceramic coating that's exceptionally hydrophobic can give you water spotting issues. So basically, DMS is another tool in the box to help deal with organic contamination like tree sap, insect remains, etc. I'll definitely be using this one more as a decon shampoo rather than a water softener. If you live in an area where hard water is an issue, then this might just be the product you've been looking for to help soften the water and give you a shampoo you've only dreamed about. I don't have any experience with washing a car in a hard water area, but you see it being talked about on social media a fair bit, so if you've already used DMS and find it works or not, let us know in the comments. I think the best way to describe that is patchy at best. Certainly the lower parts of the door is showing signs of wear, and I feel that maybe 2 coats of the coating would have been beneficial in the lower areas at least. DMS hasn't made any of the coating look any different in my eyes, and I did spend a fair bit of time spraying water on it. At one point I thought it was the spray pattern leaving a shadow as it's still sheeting water, but not as beady as the upper parts of the door. Then I decided to use Garage Therapy Zero Decon shampoo mixed at 10:1 and sprayed directly to the lower half of the door and worked in with another separate wash mitt. Then it was rinsed away to reveal. I think that's cooked it, to be honest. It's not as bad on the passenger side as it was on the driver's side for some reason, but, and it's a big but there may be a user issue with the coating on application. That may have contributed to its early demise. Remember, this was my first time applying a coating to a car. I've applied countless sealants, waxes and quick detailers in my time, but I'll be the first to put up my hands and say I did my best, but it sure was a completely different experience. If you watched the coating video, remember I said this? You can apply this coating a lot easier than some waxes and sealants that I've used. I was really starting to enjoy the process after the initial nerves, but seeing the gloss boost was just so infectious, but I did start to wonder if I was doing something wrong as it just seemed too easy. Okay, so the other explanation is that maybe the coating has indeed failed, as it's performing very well everywhere else on the car. And for those other detailers that I've spoken to about this product that have also been fortunate enough to try it, have also experienced the same issue after 3 months or so. And I think this is one of the reasons why you haven't seen this 1-year coating released yet. You all probably know I'm a huge fan of Garage Therapy products, and I always give you my honest opinion of my experience of using these products. Sadly, this has been one of those products that on this occasion hasn't lived up to expectations. And I know Garage Therapy won't think any less of me for sharing that with you all. I'm finally ready to dry the car off before applying the latest Sigma Hybrid Sealant version 3. I've been keen to try out the Garage Therapy drying towel for a while now, so I bought this along with some of their microfibers to try out. I've been using my Twisted Loop Gold Member towel religiously over the last 2 years and I'm still very happy with its performance, but you have to try new things, as you could be missing out on something good. So after unpacking the towel, it's immediately apparent it's two-sided, not just a grey side and a blue side, but a different weave. So I'll try my best to dampen the fibres with one hand as I hold the camera with the other. The glass is wet, but it doesn't look like it. You can see the embossed Garage Therapy logo in the corner, which I think is a nice touch. The blue side is a shorter pile for drying glass and is designed for paint if you like the patting technique, but most users will probably prefer the plush side for drying like a normal person. It too has 2 different types of fibres in it. Twisted loop and the longer cut loop fibres cushion the towel over the paint and help reduce any marring from the loops. Both sides are stitched together to give a weighty 1100 GSM 50 by 90 cm by a secret South Korean microfiber factory. The South Koreans do make very good quality cloths, it has to be said. Now, while it's incredibly difficult to hold a phone and dry a bonnet, the towel size is actually quite manageable. Easier managed with 2 hands right enough, but look, it dries the panel perfectly fine. Overall, a very good towel, smaller than a gold member one, and the fact one side is for glass or patting technique sort of limits its use for me if I'm honest. But the grey side was a lot nicer to use than the standard twisted loop kind, but it did manage the whole car without becoming oversaturated, so overall, a success I'd say. To top up or not to top up a ceramic coating is a hotly debated topic. I can see both sides of the argument, but I've decided to follow the manufacturer's guidelines by applying Sigma, a hybrid ceramic sealant, as a sacrificial layer to help prolong the coating. Also, the poorer zones along the bottom of the doors may still have strong ceramic protection underneath, just needs a boost from a product like this. For maximum protection, I should really be using 3CS, which is a longer lasting protective layer, but as Sigma was a new version, I couldn't wait to try it out. Application is easy, with Sigma being a hybrid of a quick detailer and SiO2 sealant, and as a rule of thumb, it's good practice for any SiO2 sealant you might be applying, not just the Garage Therapy one. Number 1, use a premium microfiber cloth. That's key to a good application, as cheap household ones from the supermarket just won't do because of the low quality blend of materials going into them. Then prime the cloths with a couple of sprays of the product. The only thing you want to avoid while you're applying a product is using a plush microfiber. Keep that for the buffing, we'll come to that later. So the second step, a couple of sprays onto the panel and spread evenly over the surface, but try to avoid continual overlapping and leave for around 10 to 15 seconds for it to dry a little. If you're like me, 15 seconds turns into 45. Anyway, number 3, either with a completely new high pile microfiber cloth, or if you have the Garage Therapy dual towels, flip it over and lightly buff off the residue. You'll feel a little bit of resistance to begin with, then it just feels lovely, smooth and glossy. I'll test what happens if you leave the product on for a little too long shortly, but for now I'll get on with applying Sigma. I'd recommend just take your time with it and being thorough. Get some headphones on, play your favourite tunes and just enjoy the process. So what makes this towel better than anything else? In my opinion, having just the one cloth is much easier to manage than two. A separate button towel might get put down and blown away or contaminated in your pocket somehow. With the dual, all you're doing is flipping the one cloth over. You shouldn't get any dampness transferring from the short nap side to the plush side either, which is fantastic, but you will still need 2 or 3 of them to go around a car. I don't know if any other brands make a towel like this, but I can say I'd highly recommend them, and I'm glad that I bought a few. Purely out of interest, I wanted to find out what would happen if I over applied it or left it on too long. So in this little test I'm going to do both, as it's 2 of the most common mistakes that are easily made. So I've over applied a line of product in the centre of the bonnet and spread it using the thin side of a new dual towel. Don't worry about the shadows, as those are reflections of the clouds above, and if you look at the clock down the bottom left, it'll show in real time how long it was left for. So at just over a minute you can clearly see the streaks of the product left by the cloth on application. A little harder to see looking directly onto the bonnet from above, but with it being on for 1 minute and 45 seconds, I'll buff gently with the plush side of the dual towel. And in fact you can see the application streaks just to the right side of your screen. And with a few seconds of buffing, it's easily removed any streaks of product without any problems. Overall, around 2 minutes it was on the panel for, and it wasn't difficult to remove. Remember, warmer panels or direct sun would change these results somewhat, so if you're wanting to use Sigma on your own car, just apply, spread and buff one panel at a time is the best advice I can give you. Another issue you might get is buffing off with a contaminated towel. Don't try and go around the whole car with one buffing cloth, as you'll be forever buffing and never removing it, as you'll be reapplying some of the product you've already buffed off. So after around 3 panels, change your buffing cloth to a new one and you'll easily remove the residue with no streaks or hazing left behind, or you can use a quick detailer, whichever's easiest for you. To finish off the tyres, once they've dried, I'm using Car Pro Dark Side, which gives a long lasting dark finish to the rubber. That's about it for today's detailing session. I hope you enjoyed seeing Garage Therapy's newest additions in action, especially the Snowfoam, Shampoo and Sigma Hybrid Sealant. DMS shampoo will certainly be making a regular appearance on future videos. Could it overtake one Car Shampoo as my favourite Garage Therapy shampoo? You'll have to subscribe to find out. I want to clarify that I have no affiliation with Garage Therapy. Some of the products were purchased with my own money and some were gifted. I'm not receiving any compensation for this review. All opinions expressed are my own and based on my personal experience with the product. So the review is intended to provide an honest and unbiased assessment to help you make an informed decision. So if you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more tips, reviews and detailing adventures. And don't forget to click the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching GM Details. Until next time, take care. Cheery bye.